gentlemen, welcome to episode number 1 of the Associated Wrestling Press's The Second Caution. This is our second podcast that we're going to be running. The first one is the College Wrestling Review, and the reason we're doing this is to split up the athletes from the interviews. Today we are joined by none other than number 1 ranked wrestler in the country, Gabe Dean. Gabe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, we're really excited. So you're 27-2 right now on the year. You've knocked off. You're ranked number 1 right now. At different points in the year, you've knocked off 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9. Everywhere in the top 20 you've wrestled somebody from the top 20, and you've won most of those. Let's just start out. A lot of people want to know the one bad tournament that you had, and I wouldn't say bad. You took 4th place was the Cliff Keen Open. Uncharacteristic of you to not only go down once, but go down twice. What is the difference from where your wrestling is at now from where it was during the Cliff Keen?
I think you just kind of figure some things out, being a young guy and competing. And, I was a young competitor. Hey, turn the music off. But I was just going traveling and caught up in the rankings and the hype and all that kind of stuff. I guess just being a young guy and not focusing on just trying to get a guy's leg and take him down. And wrestling's a simple sport. And everybody knows that. So just those kind of things kind of got to my head a little bit, and I didn't perform well. But not taking any credit away from those two guys. The two guys that I lost to are very good, and it's going to be fun in March.
Absolutely, and I'm really looking forward to it. You've been in some crazy overtime matches. You're undefeated in overtime this year, and the one that a lot of people are questioning right now is the one that you recently had with Nathan Brown of Lehigh this past weekend. So you guys go on the out of bounds. He shoots, you hit, head in the hole, and then you kind of get into whatever. You look for, it looked like, what was it, a double leg, single leg?
He shot in, and I countered with this left side single leg, and he's real good. He's real good at scrambling around in those positions and getting out of that position. We were there a couple times in the match actually, but he's a real good. His defense is really good, and we go out of bounds. But I had his, I felt like, there was no call. He scrambled out and we went out of bounds. But I was like, hey, if there's review, you might as well review it. So let's see, because I kind of felt like I had his other leg a couple different times, and with the new rule with the no reaction time, I just felt like it was a takedown if that's if they're gonna stand by those rules, because each ref kind of seems like they almost it's kind of blurry right now with the new rule implementations.
Right.
But,
so you from the start, you knew it was a takedown.
I was pretty confident, with the no reaction time that I thought it was a takedown, just because I had his other ankle for about 2 seconds at a time, and then I had his other hip I had his far side hip for about 1 or 2 seconds too. So I was like, if they slow this down and look at it, with that rule, then maybe they will high pressure situation. Lehigh's a pretty crazy place to wrestle in, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, I've never had an opportunity to wrestle there. I've heard what they've been doing with that program is absolutely amazing.
It is. The Grace Hall is a fun atmosphere.
Yeah. Did you see their wrestling room? Did you guys get to wrestle in their wrestling room?
Yeah. We worked out before weigh-ins in their wrestling room, and it's just a beautiful facility. The arena is below two stories below the wrestling room, so you go in and the arena's set up and it's like a snake pit. You know, they call it the snake pit, and then you go up 2 flights of stairs, and then on the top level is the wrestling room, and they got this beautiful, new facility and Hall of Fame, hall, and the locker rooms are really nice, and
Wow.
it's cool. It's really
That's
cool.
awesome. So, man, that's crazy. Yeah, I want to go there. I heard that's a pretty crazy place to wrestle. Have you ever wrestled at Minnesota?
I haven't wrestled at Minnesota, no, but I'm sure Minnesota is pretty wild too.
Yeah, Minnesota and Carver. Of course, you've
Of
heard stories
course,
about Carver, but
we'll wrestle there for at the national duels, so
okay.
I'll get to experience that this year.
Yeah, watch out. There's even grandmas that are like throwing stuff at you. They're cursing. They literally have no standards whatsoever when it comes to wrestling. Everything gets thrown out the window. So
It's part of the sport.
yeah.
That's what makes it count.
So you have a football background, correct?
Yes, yes, I do.
So I watched you win your state title in 2009 at Ford Field, correct?
Yep, yep.
So what? So why wrestling? Did you have any offers from in football?
I wasn't too big of, in football standards, I wasn't too big of a guy. I'm about 5'10". Run a 4.7 40, and I can't jump super high, so I wasn't like a big, I wasn't a big D1 prospect at all. I had a couple of Division I schools come take a look at me and throw out different positions and at me, like, but I was never going to play. I was never going to play quarterback, and it wasn't like I was getting offered full scholarships or anything. It was just like, hey, preferred walk on kind of stuff for Division I schools. But had some, I had some different Division II and III schools really interested in me, and but football is, I got to play football for my uncle and wrestle for my dad in high school. And coming from Lowell's like a small town, Lowell's like the northern Texas football kind of. It's like, 8,000 people come out to the game every Friday night, 6 to 8 in there. There's such a great tradition,
What?
stores close down in the town.
Signs in the front yards?
Yeah, oh yeah, signs in the front yards. You get all that. And growing up, my uncle, I got to see everything a head coach has to go through in a town like that. So it was just so much fun to play in that kind of atmosphere. You got
I
a
didn't know
packed,
it was like that.
yeah, no, you get a packed stadium every Friday night, and people are just, you got you got the townies and just going crazy. It's fun.
So, are they the same with wrestling?
Yeah, yeah, no, you get a big duel. Not every duel, but you got a big duel against a rival like Greenville or you get a bit, or DCC comes in for assembly duel, or you get a big time team. If St. John's came in, or you put about 2,000-3,000 people and packed into a gym to watch it.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I was I'm not sure if you saw the results from Lowell versus Brighton. I went and watched that at Michigan State this past week. Crazy duel, down to the wire. Lowell ends up getting the 2-point lead at heavyweight. 103 comes up. Lowell kid gets a takedown first period. Brighton gets the escape and tosses the Lowell kid to his back for 5 in a headlock. And everyone's like, Brighton's going to win this duel because this kid's going to get pinned. But no, the Lowell kid ended up coming back and winning the duel, or winning the match. And I think they won by 5. But it was the craziest high school match I ever watched.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was awesome. Parents
See,
were going crazy.
I did not know the ending until you just shared it with me right now. But I knew they won, and credit Coach RJ Boudreaux, and I don't know. Did you wrestle with RJ at Michigan State?
No,
You
I
did?
wrestled with Ben, his
You
younger
wrestled with
brother.
Ben. That's right, Ben. It feels like when I was a kid, my dad coached at Michigan State, and I used to come awesome that RJ Boudreaux, and what he's doing with the, taking over the program now, and he's doing such a good job, and I love him like a brother. You know, he's
Oh yeah, they're definitely
and
that
we're real close. And
that whole family is awesome.
he's doing an awesome job.
Yeah. So you just mentioned your dad
Yeah,
has. You just mentioned your dad has ties to Michigan State. Also, he wrestled at Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. He wrestled at Minnesota, and after his second year there, that's when Jay Robinson brought him and his coaching staff. Well, his coaching staff back then, um, to town, and that's when his wrestling career kind of took off. So he kind of missed 2 years, but his last 2 years, he's a national finalist and two-time All-American. So at Minnesota.
So was there ever a dream to follow in your dad's footsteps and go to Minnesota, or?
Yeah. Yeah. I grew up and Jay. Jay Robinson's a great coach. Obviously, everybody knows that, and he, my dad credits, a lot of, the man who he is today because of Jay. So growing up as a kid, you hear all these stories about Jay Robinson and the stuff that he taught, your dad. And by the time it came around for me to be, I could start being recruited. Minnesota was right there at the top of the list with places that I was considering going. They were going through some coaching changes at the time. They weren't able to come out and visit, and it just didn't have I talked to Jay and Brandon Agam on the phone a couple times, but it just didn't work out. But they have a great program and great tradition there. Obviously, I mean, I don't need to say that. Everybody knows that. So
what made you choose Cornell? You see the videos of Cornell being just a family atmosphere. Don't you guys all live in the same house?
Yeah. I'm actually sitting in my room right now, and I apologize about the earlier. My roommate came out.
No.
Came out of the shower. He had his music playing, but
no, you're okay.
But yeah, that's the kind of stuff. I mean, you just get a taste of that. What it's like to live in a house with 30 guys.
30 guys live there?
Yeah, oh yeah. We got this old frat house, and got Brian Riobuto's dad took over this place, renovated it, and now we all live here, and we have a chef, and it's awesome.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great atmosphere. Great. You get real close with a lot of guys. Nashawn's room's right next door. I'm actually surprised he hasn't walked in my room yet during this time. He usually comes in and hangs out for a little bit. So if he does, he might do that. So I'm just going to prepare you for that. But yeah, it's just you get to you live with all the guys you train with, and obviously it has some downsides, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be. I lived with 3 people in college, and trying to get the bill money was tough.
Yeah. Luckily, you take care of yourself, Mr. Rubio and Brian. They kind of have that burden. I just, I'm like, here's the check, and
30
I don't have
guys, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's insane. So you guys have like a bunch of people. Like, say if you had family come, are they allowed to stay at the house?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. They, they don't usually want to because if you got a sister and a mom, what sister and mom wants to stay with 30 college guys,
right.
In their house. But people come through every day. Everybody's got their own personal social group. So you walk in the house, you might see like 4 or 5 people you've never seen before in your life. Playing pool at the pool table, or sitting down at the dinner table eating, or watching TV, or it's just like. So you kind of get to meet everybody and everybody's different groups and stuff that they run with, just because we all live together, girlfriends, right. You meet all them, and you meet everybody. You meet parents, you meet recruits come through here all the time. So yeah, you meet a lot of people. It's really cool.
That's so crazy. I don't know how you guys do it. All right, back on topic. Sorry. So I mentioned earlier that you've been winning all these close matches. Obviously, that comes with experience. What did you do last year and in the off season to get yourself prepared for this year?
Preparation wise, it probably, I trained through the off season. My goal was to make the junior world team, and I ended up making that. So, and then my goal is to win a medal overseas in Croatia. So I trained kind of through summer and kind of stuck to the stuff that I was good at, and that might almost the experience was awesome, and being a part of a world team and wrestling overseas, and that's something that will carry with me the rest of my life. The preparation wise, coming into this year is like I was kind of just taking the off season of just another season almost, instead of I could have been building probably better skill on top, but I was wrestling freestyle all through the off season, and then by the time that was over, you get 2 weeks to go home and hang out, but then you're back out here for preseason. So for folk style for the college season, so it was an awesome experience and everything, but building skill like folk style skill where maybe I missed out on a little bit.
Thank you very much for being on episode number 1. We wish you all the luck. Best of luck to you this year. Where can everyone follow you on social media?
They can follow me at Dave Jean, DABEGEAN.
Okay, perfect. Best of luck to you this year, and I will see you at NCAA's. Thank you, and that's been it for episode number 1.
Thanks a ton for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
Really appreciate it, man.